Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning trading session. The markets just opened up a moment ago here. Hold on one second while I get you my screen. I trust everyone had a nice and relaxing weekend. I got next to nothing accomplished on my to-do list about what else is new. All right. Here we are with the NQ this morning, and they're in a little bit of a tailspin right out of the gate. We had actually a pretty solid signal here going into the session. We had a 4-arrow consolidation building right here, and it looks like the market's been honoring the trend line pretty well. So if I shot a trend line off of these highs, well, we kind of sliced it a little bit there, but you get the idea. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's adjust the trend line to look like this. You can see we got a little bit of a bounce there, and the market took a quick little tumble out of the open. This is going to look a little bit like an opening gap because the market left off up here. And they opened right about here. So you can see this little region here could look like a gap to the market. And you know, with gaps, sometimes the market is going to try to get back in there and fill that. So just one of those things you want to keep in the back of your mind. The eagle also gave us a signal here right out of the gate, and I don't know if we're at our profit objective yet. Yep, just about. Just about to our profit target, certainly at our break-even trigger. All right, I'm also watching gold and crude oil this morning. And crude oil pressing a little bit higher. In fact, crude oil at a pretty important level right now, resistance-wise. You can see we're producing a green bar sell. 1, 2, 3, 4. We also have a sort of a 4-arrow consolidation. The 4-arrow consolidation was nixed by this green bar sell. Typically, what we do with the green bar sell, we can either take it with trend or counter trend. In this case, it looks as though counter trend may be the way to go because we've already had a test of the extreme down here. You see that? Now, crude being crude, it's also terribly expensive to trade. Can I cover it to there? Yeah, I might be able to cover it to there. So lots of resistance right here at this whole 44.40 area, and you can tie that back into this region here. See how the market broke down right here through these lows? Well, now we're getting that whole test and retest thing that I mentioned to you. So if prices fail here, they should maybe shoot a little bit higher. And now we're also getting the makings of a first micro-macro cross. Not complete yet. We're into yellow bars there. This is a little bit risky if you're looking for a trade to follow on. I don't know if that's really the best one to get going. The NQ doing a little bit of a rebound now and also producing a green bar sell as we get into the hard edges here on the Eagle and the Raptor. Thanks, Jim. Jim says the advanced decline, we've got 700 on the buy and 2,000 on the sell. So the market looking a little bit bearish, but remember we did have that opening gap, right? So that's going to skew the numbers a little bit. All right, it looks like they're just kind of settling in here. Excuse me for just a moment. I'm going to be right back. Hi, sorry about that. Okay, so we're now into the hard edge, getting a green bar, or pardon me, a first micro macro cross signal here, a trend change signal on the Falcon. No test to the extreme though, right? I'm pretty sure this one's going to work out. So here's let's focus on our Falcon signal. So one of our high probability signals on the Falcon is this trend change signal. You do need to be careful with the trend change signal when you're with a market that has a well-defined trend. So you can see here all through the overnight, the NQ has been heading lower. And now all of a sudden it's offering up a trend change signal. Well, this would give me a little bit more confidence if we had a test of the extreme first, right? If we had that little hiccup and then the failure, that would tell me that yes, the buyers truly are in control here. But that's the thing with DTS, very often it knows stuff that you don't necessarily see on the surface. Even so, our trend change signal develops. Here's the up portion, here's the down portion, here's the up portion, here's the signal. I would probably try to risk it below the swing low because of that lack of the test of the extreme. And it looks like it got up, would have hit your break-even trigger if you were running one, would have been tapped at break-even. Although there is a chance here we're going to see a reaction off of this resistance line. So I think that's a pretty feasible trade. I do believe it will work out, although at the moment you're taking just a little bit of heat on it. And Jim refreshed the advanced decline numbers for us a little bit here. It looks like the buyer's getting a little bit stronger, about 820 on the buy, 826 on the buy, and just shy of 1950 on the sell. And look at that, we had that little selling spike right through there. The seller's pouring it on now, just chewing through those orders. Let's see if the buyers come back. All right, so now we're producing a, oop, don't run away. Oh shoot. We're producing a sell signal here on the Eagle. I'm going to take advantage of the second push here. I'm getting in very, very late on this signal. Now let's see what's going on here with the Geiger counter. All right, so the market waffling a little bit this morning. Sort of setting its range. Our low currently sitting around 46.74 and the high around 46.90. Okay, here comes the Falcon now with a trend change signal that is with trend. I would have a little bit more confidence with this one, well, because it is with trend. Let's see if I can risk it above the primary resistance or support, pardon me. And what I'm doing here is I'm anticipating where the hash mark is going to print. So you see here's the trend change. The trend line changes color. Here's the down, here's the up, here's the down. And we're getting a comparable signal here on the Raptor now. So this is a hard edge bounce. The hard edge bounce actually occurred back here. I'm a little bit late on this signal also. Okay, so we're really looking for the sellers to follow through now, especially as we get closer to these lows. We want to see this, our Geiger counter full on here to the sell side. Well, buyers are fighting it back a bit. Come on, sellers, where'd you go? Oh, come on, stops. I don't want you to roll just yet. You see, this could be developing into a double pullback signal. And we're right in the thick of it here. We're into the hard edge again. Let's make sure our Falcon trade is still good. We've got comparable signals now here on the Hawk. Also, our first micro-macro cross / macro pullback signal. So all the way around here, we're getting sell signals. Okay, the Hawk now into yellow bars, so I'm going to nix that. Very, very neutral this morning. Market more or less trading where it opened. This whole 46.85 area. Okay, I'm going to roll this up closer to the primary resistance. And same thing here. You know how we've seen the market sometimes just break the high on a swing point and then reverse. We saw that the other week. All I'm trying to do here is give the sellers an opportunity to get back into the market. Normally, we anticipate that the sellers are going to react early, but sometimes they react just a little bit late. And it looks like this could be one of those instances. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to be more aggressive on my stop now. The sellers have shown their intentions. Okay, I'm going to go with the parabolics on the Falcon. And almost time to get a little bit more aggressive here with the Eagle also. See, we've got a little bit of a bear flag type formation going on also. If we can get down below these lows here, pretty sure we're going to see the market tail off. Okay, definitely time to get more aggressive with my stop now. All right, there you go. That's all you're going to get. And I'll enable the parabolics here. Okay, sellers, you got it. Time for you to get serious. And we'll see here in a moment whether this was a good call or not. Okay. All right, they've tagged me here on the Eagle trade. So I'm just going to make a note now in my trading journal to see whether or not I was too aggressive with my stop here. So we'll let that play out. Because remember, it's not a loss until you have to realize it. Same thing with a profit. Now Jim's getting a little bit more bullish on the YM. Hold on a second here. We'll pull up the mini Dow. So the YM definitely getting a little bit more bullish also here into the median line now on our support and resistance suite. Oops, sorry. That's crude oil again. Doggone it, Eric. And I've got the wrong settings. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. I see what Jim is seeing now, and I've got to slow this down a little bit. No, wrong tool. Okay. So, yeah, you're right. We're 3 zones deep here on our support and resistance suite. Settling nicely onto the support, and Jim says the cloud to cloud, he's got 50 ticks, so he's going to try to buy that up a little bit. Oh, looks like we got tagged on the reversal there. Well, a small loss is better than a big loss, but not as nice as a winning trade, obviously. This is quite the range we've got established this morning already. Kind of funneling like so. just full of yellow bars here. Some serious barbed wire there. If you skewer your yellow bars, you'll see they're all more or less at the same latitude, and the swings above and below, a lot of times traders refer to this as barbed wire, and you can see why. And just like barbed wire, it's easy to get hurt. Gold on the Falcon might be working on a late filter entry signal. Our trend line has not changed. Currently our filter is out of sync. We'd be looking for our filter to come back into sync and produce a sell signal for us. That looks, oh, here we go. So the signal is going to print right here at 1087.90. 1087 for 2 ticks. I can enter below the low. That might be a little bit more enticing. Our primary support is down here at 1084 if you wanted to stretch your profit target a little bit. That certainly looks doable. All right, here they come with another sell signal on the Raptor and another sell signal on the Eagle. So right now I'm thinking I was too quick with my stops. I should have just let it alone. Alright, first micro macro cross here on the Hawk. I'll tell you folks, this is a little bit risky still. We're still well entrenched in the sideways range. It's something you may just want to throw a onesie on, maybe turn it into a runner. And we got slipped a tick. I'm going to turn that into a runner, see if we get a bigger breakout here as prices get back down toward the lows. Oh, there's that trend change signal again, / late filter entry on the Falcon, and the Raptor also falling nicely. So here's our first micro macro cross signal on the Hawk. We have hit our profit objective. I am trying to stretch this one a little bit. So we'll go with the ATR stops at the moment. Just watching the Geiger counter here, making sure we're getting a lot of selling participation, and so far we are. Sellers just chewing through those orders. Oh, the buyer's trying to fight it back. Yeah, I think we're in for a little bit of a ride here, and I definitely was too quick with my stops. Doggone it. I am not happy about that. Our gold trade has reversed on the signal. You see, we're making a trend change signal higher now, so we can cancel our sell order. And we can see whether this is going to mature into a full trend change signal now. So here's the up, the trend line has changed color, here comes the down, and we'll wait to see if we don't get an up. Alright, so we got tagged on a slight pullback there, but it does seem as though at least we have the direction nailed down today, maybe a little bit. Just looking to see whether or not we're going to get a trend develop here, or whether the market's going to retrace back and get back into that sideways trading range. There is a lot of activity going on at these prices. Look at the width of these bars here on our dynamic equivolume bars. You can see that there's a whole lot of volume passing through here. And the Geiger counter, once again, has gotten a little bit more neutral. So I'm watching the dial here on the Geiger counter, and it looks as though the buyers are, trying to chew through those orders a little bit more. But here come the sellers again. And there they go. All right. Getting a little bit of a macro pullback here. I'm thinking we're going to see a little bit more of a pullback higher, perhaps here into the hard edge, perhaps even into that opening range gap. You see prices have slowed somewhat. The width of the bar is getting a lot wider here. That tells me that there's a whole lot of trading going on at these levels. It looks like we may be putting in a bottom where we're getting, this is now our test of the extreme. If this fails and heads higher, we will get a buying opportunity. And we're also getting a late filter entry signal. So the Falcon here showing me something that I'm not seeing on the chart. Oh, come back here. See if I can still catch that one on a second push. Oh, doggone it. This is where the Trailblazer is handy sometimes because all you need to do is hit your buy and sell market buttons. Although I could have done the same thing, I suppose, here with the Falcon. Let's see, it's going to get back up here. So we got this on a second push, a second chance. And what I should have done is perhaps turn one of these into a runner, but that's all right. We'll take the profit if the market gives it to us. Okay, we got our break-even trigger. Come on. Ugh, stinkers. They're going to tap me here at break-even now. Come on, sellers. Where's my Geiger counter? No, the buyers is trying to chew through the orders there. I think, yeah, if the sellers don't show up here pretty quick, we're going to see a little bit of a hop to the upside. Come on. Sometimes you just got to talk nice to it. Crude oil prices falling off nicely this morning. We didn't pay much attention to crude, but here was a very nice hard edge bounce on the Eagle. Don't think we're at our profit target just yet, but awfully close. And I just heard the order get filled, so I think they stopped me at break even. Stinkers. Vitor is asking, how do you I think Vitor is asking, how do I determine the break even parameters? Well, it's what I do is, let's say we were taking a signal here and it was looking like this. I tend to put the break even target about 75 or 80% of the way to the target. I figure if the market's going to get me 80% of the way there and then fail, I may as well get stopped at break even. Now, sometimes that works to my advantage. Sometimes it doesn't, but I guess that's true for all things trading related. I did that same thing here on the Falcon. We had a break-even target that was about 75% of the way to my profit objective. And you can see they got all the way down to the profit target, didn't hit it, came up, tapped me at break even. And we'll see here in a moment whether or not I was too quick to roll to break even or whether that kept me out of a potentially bad trade or a reversing trade. Right now it looks like I should have held my stop. Of course, you can set the break even at any figure that's comfortable to you, and you don't have to go to break even plus one. If you wanted to, ensure that you have at least $20 on a trade, $20 in profit, or whatever number makes you comfortable, you can adjust your break even figure. And you can even adjust it negative. So if you want it to be, you hit your break even trigger, but you still want to leave your stop 3 ticks behind your entry, you can do that too, or however many ticks you want. All right, so far it's looking like that might have been a good thing that we got tagged at break even there. We'll see how the rest of the morning progresses. But we definitely have some buying pressure coming in. Probably the thing in trading that annoys me most is getting stopped out of a perfectly good trade because my stop was too tight or I was too quick with my stop. And I know that's a problem for me. I know that's my trading weakness, is that I will tend to get a little bit excited with my stops. All right, technically this is another first micro-macro cross signal. How can I say that when the trend lines haven't crossed? Well, everything has gone out of sync and now everything is coming back into sync, and I'm taking too long to explain these things. The problem here is oops, I thought we were high enough. The problem here is this may well turn into a test of the extreme, a test of the lows. Here's a interesting situation on gold on the Falcon. We're still working that trend change signal. Oh, and here we go. We've got that signal now to buy gold. We might be seeing gold come out of this little sideways trading range that it's been in for most of the morning. All right, we'll put that back on the shelf for now. And there you go. We hit our profit objective. So the first micro macro cross not only occurs when the trend lines first cross over, but you want to pay attention when everything goes out of sync and then comes back into sync. And that actually getting some pretty nice follow through. We probably had comparable signals here on the Falcon. Well, we had the trend change, or pardon me, the late filter entry signal right back here. This one would have been harder to take. Yeah, this was our late filter entry signal that I got a little cute on with the break-even trigger. All right, so note to self, leave your stops further back. Getting a little bit more buying participation again. Oh, maybe not. You can see there was that big volume spike to the downside, that big selling spike. Oh, here comes another one. No, the buyers, oh, look at that. The buyers just chewing through the orders. We're going to see a little bit of a hop here to the upside, I think, now. So if you are short, you might want to consider bringing that stop in a little bit tighter. Squeeze the sellers a bit. I left this trend line on here thinking that maybe the market was going to retrace a little bit, but so far they are just heading one way. Working on a 4-arrow consolidation here in the NQ. we've just got signals across the board here. On the Raptor, we've got a soft edge bounce. There was a hard edge bounce back here. We're a little late on the entry here, but we could take a second push on that one. The Geiger counter quite violent here. Lots of activity going higher and lower. Yeah, oh, the buyers are getting much stronger here. Come on, sellers, we gotta see you fight back. The best levels to sell at tend to be those ones, you know, you've heard sell the highs, buy the lows. So if we were to shoot a trend line across here, something like this, and you don't have to be too precise about your trend lines. They're more visual aids than anything, but you can see that selling somewhere near the top end of this trading range would be more desirable than selling near the bottom end of the trading range. So if the market had produced the signal up here near the hard edge somewhere, that would be easier to sell than the signal right down here. Our gold trade just triggered a few moments ago on this trend change signal here on the Falcon. And we're making pretty good progress. Actually, I doubled my profit objectives for gold, so we have hit the high probability target, but I do tend to hold out for a little bit more in markets like gold or crude. But if you're going with the high probability numbers, hey, we're there. All right, the market falling a little bit flat now. And I don't want it rolling my stop just yet. See if I learn my lesson or not. Okay. Well, they've been in almost a free fall for most of the morning. You know, it's 7:30 now, 10:30 in the east. This does tend to be the time where we see a reversal if there's been a dominant trend. So let's see what the sellers are up to here. This now is their second attempt to recover the market. So I am going to roll my stop and kind of force the market now. At least until they get to my break even. There we go. Come on. There we go. We're at break even. So what I've done here, for those of you who aren't understanding why I'm rolling my stop after I said I was going to hold my stop, we engaged the market right here, right? This was our signal. The market headed lower. It headed higher. Oops. It headed a little bit higher. And now I see the sellers recommitting to the trend. Now, part of this is a little bit of a gut call, and I know you hate to hear that kind of stuff. You're looking for stuff that you can say, if the market does this, I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, trading is not that cut and dry. No doubt you've heard people refer to trading as an art, and there is an art aspect to it. And there's also, you know, the point where you have to decide, it's your money. Am I going to protect it now? Am I going to take, you know, am I going to take the open profit? What am I going to do? Well, at this stage, my stop was still up here. The sellers look like they've recommitted to the trend. So I'm thinking, okay, it's time to get serious here. It's time to start rolling my stop. This is the last chance in my mind for the sellers to regain control of the market. If the sellers fail at this point, then it's very likely that we're going to see the market start to do one of these, right? Just go higher and higher and higher. And now I'm starting to sweat my trade because I'm looking for the sellers to come back in, and they may give me a little hiccup like this, and then the buyers take it and stop me out for the whole wad. At least at this stage here, where I'm forcing the seller's hand, if the market reverses at this point, well, I've significantly reduced my risk exposure. And if the sellers aren't interested in pushing the market lower, well then, me as a seller, why should I hang out there any longer? And I understand it's very much a fine line, and I wish I could give you clearer parameters for it. You saw me get stopped out prematurely on the first trade I took this morning, or the first couple trades I took this morning. So there is always that trade-off that sometimes you are going to get stopped prematurely. All right, so there we got stopped at break even. It's not the end of the world. The broker got paid. But let's see now whether or not that was a good decision or not. So there was my entry. Here was my profit target. Got tagged at break even. And here was my initial stop. Okay, so right now you can see from our Geiger counter that the buyers were kind of chewing through the orders there. The sellers hard over now to the sell side. So we might see the sellers come back into this market, but we would be at a slight losing, slightly in the red here, pretty close to break even on our trade. We'll just see if we can't manage this. Or see how we would manage it if if I didn't take that earlier stop. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more heat now. So had we taken the signal right here, this was our signal. Now we'd be, so our signal was right here. We'd be taking a little bit of heat, nothing too serious yet. Carrie's asking about the profit finder, if we can go over the profit finder. Well, we won't have time to go over the profit finder today. We're actually going to have to take a whole session to do it. Um, let me fine tune that a little bit, and we will pick a day this week and do the profit finder. Yeah, Jim says, I bet it's going to go to the hard edge, and I think you're right. And this is the problem sometimes with, managing your trade. Remember, we're always trying to get a handle on who is controlling the market. Who controls the market right now? Well, right now it's dead neutral because we've got a yellow bar. But if the buyers are in control, well, we don't want to be short, right? And if the sellers are in control, we don't want to be long. So here we'll reduce this a little bit. And, well, there's not much else going on, is there? So we'll just leave it. Kai is asking about the cheat sheets on Facebook. I thought I did post it. Now, I only have the Hawk cheat sheet. The problem is the Hawk always seems to have been the one that caused people the most grief, so that's why we did the Hawk. Okay, so if we had not rolled stops here, you see how the market is, the sellers are starting to show up? If I got, well, technically I do have 2 bars lower. We do have a little bit of a micro swing here. You could start rolling your stops here at this point, or certainly if this current bar finishes low, that would be a good time to start rolling your stops. Why? Because it shows you that, once again, the sellers have stepped in and they're prepared to try to push the market lower. Okay, so now the sellers definitely have come into the market. The sellers have control at this point. If they lose control, you probably want out. Because if they lose control now, well, what have we done here? We've got a test to the extreme to the downside, don't we? We've got a test of the extreme, and what happens after we get a test of the extreme? Well, we anticipate the market is going to put in a rally. How far will it rally? Well, of course, nobody really knows. It may just go here to the hard edge, and if you left your stop up here, you may be fine. But that's a lot of heat to endure. So what I would be doing is I would take my stop from up here, I would roll it down to here, and now I would be even getting more aggressive and starting to roll my stop maybe bar for bar or every second bar. And that's what the bar high-low strategy does, by the way. I know this is all very slow. Normally this plays out a little bit faster. And so we would be in a situation now where we would be almost tagged. Well, the seller's still holding their own. Okay, well, it's once again, we know the sellers have dug in here, so this is a good spot to roll your stop. And if it continues lower from here, well, then the sellers definitely have control, and we can start rolling our stops lower also. All right, I'm pretty sure you guys get the idea. The market has kind of gotten very quiet, though. Oh, here the Falcon producing a possible trend change signal. So that kind of confirms what we've been seeing on the Raptor also. And this is the type of situation where you may want to offer up one more tick and not take it quite at the hash mark. Well, not much going on right now. I do anticipate that we are going to see a little bit of a pullback here. There's certainly lots of room to recover here. We could see the market get back to the early lows here at 46.75, maybe even get as high as 46.80. That would be a real serious rally. All right, here they go. They're about to engage our order. Now, people often ask me with the support and resistance suite, should I take profit? Should I use the support and resistance lines as profit targets? Well, you certainly could. Again, like most things trading related, it's a bit of a balancing act. I prefer to go all in, all out on target, but that's me. Yeah, see, Jim likes using them as targets. He says they're very accurate. So what we're looking at now is a possible test of the extreme. That's why I've got my stops down here below the low, right there. Everything's just kind of gotten really quiet. Okay. The buyer is obviously not very forceful here at the moment. Let's get the Geiger counter back into view. Everybody's just kind of hemming and hawing, getting a first micro macro cross signal here on the hawk. So that's semi-encouraging for a little bit of an uptick. Well, we kind of hit the skids here for a little bit. If you're going to be trading this afternoon, like I said, I would anticipate a little bit of a pullback here. I wouldn't get too crazy on the buy side. The market very much in a downtrend. So I think we're going to see prices continue lower overall for the rest of the day. But a little bit of an adjustment here would not be out of order. All right, you guys, I think we're going to close up the room. I will see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.